The Trump effect will show its effect in the coming weeks and months. But if I do think that it will be positive for the whole market, there are coins that will benefit more by this big change. Obviously, the first effect has been seen already on XRP. XRP, due to the change on the SEC and the policy, it looks like that finally it is ready to skyrocket, or better, the price has already skyrocketed. But the interesting part is that, have you wondered why this coin has been pumping? Because I mean, nobody's using XRP for real right now. It's not a consumer chain. It's not something where you can really trade. Most of the volumes right now are happening still on Solana, Base, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and so on. So why XRP is pumping? There is a big reason behind this pump, and it's connected to Trump. The fact that Trump is getting the power, and it's also promising a more favorable environment, it has a big effect on everything that is working with institutions. The big point when it comes to working with institutions is that for us, it's invisible because we don't know exactly which kind of connections and relationships these projects are keeping with institutions. Because if on chain everything is transparent when it comes to retail users, I mean, you have a wallet, you are interacting, and so on. When it comes to a corporation, a bank, or whatever is a government or institution that is behind, everything is happening behind the scene. So you don't know that. But many of these insiders, they know, and they are anticipating the market by pushing the price to higher level. It's really difficult, honestly speaking, to trade these kind of movements because you are trading in a certain way blinded, because you are trading on a promise, but without being able really to see what's happening. Aside from XRP, there is a whole niche that at the moment nobody is talking so much, and I'm referring to RWA. Right now, most people are just got in love with Defi. Defi is beautiful and will be the big revolution for the consumer market. But while the consumer market is being changed by DeFi, what is happening on the other side is that RWA is finally finding a fertile environment, a place where finally a more clarity will come out, or at least that's what we hope, because obviously Trump will start its own mandate, and we are waiting to see more regulation, a framework that should be clear to help different projects that are coming into the RWA space to start finally doing something and not just chatting behind the scene. Because the moment when we are seeing capitals and real funds being managed on chain, I mean, that's the biggest revolution that we were all waiting for. So that's what I want to dig into. And I prepared for you 3 projects that I want to introduce you. One is not yet launched, but will be probably the game changer for the whole RWA space. And the other 2 are one a mid cap and the other one is a small cap. Before digging into, just let me remind you guys that this channel is just about educational content. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice. And please, guys, leave us also a big thumbs up. Drop a comment to the comment section. I know that's a small effort for you guys. I know that you're bothered. I'm asking you, but I mean, I have to, because at the end of the story, what I'm doing here is free. If you help me, we can go much better, and I can also be much more sustainable. Guys, don't forget, if you want to also join our a private group, I have just prepared a promo code for the Trump inauguration. You can find it, the code on the screen. If you want to join, it's just 10 promo codes that are available. Okay, let me show the screen because I have prepared a couple of things for you. So first of all, I want to introduce you Plume Network. I don't know if you have been following the testnet. I've wrote a couple of stuff on Discord and also on Telegram about, also on Twitter about Plume Network. It is probably the most promising ecosystem when it comes to RWA5. Just to give you a little bit of a context, Plume Network has already raised something like 30 million, and right now it is about to launch its own mainnet. So the launch and the TGE will just happen according to when you are watching this video. Maybe it could have been just happen, or maybe it will happen in a couple of days. The beauty of Plume is that it's moving on two different trajectories. From one side is about institutions, that's something that we are not seeing yet. On the other side, it's also consumer, because when it comes to RWA, you have to remember that it's not just about institutions. RWA means bringing the real world on chain. If we are able to bring anything, it could be like some collectibles that maybe you can use on, you can trade on Polytrade, that is a RWA platform for collectibles, for example. But it could be like whatever in the real world. What we are all waiting for is to have real estate coming on chain. The reason why I'm saying real estate is because this is the biggest niche, the biggest asset class worldwide speaking. We are talking about trillions all over the world. Imagine bringing them on chain and transacting, moving these assets just on chain, building on top of that a DeFi ecosystem. We have already seen with Parcel, that is another nice protocol on Solana that is allowing you to trade. It's something like close to a perpetual platform that is just tracking with indexes the value of the real estate market in different regions. So you can get exposure to that market, real estate market, without having to buy the house or whatever is the building that you would have to buy. So it's much easier to get exposure and getting leverage or whatever. So DeFi could really enable to change everything. The interesting part is that when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's everything is about a consumer. So we have two levers, something that is much more permission, so a blockchain that should be closed, because obviously if you are a bank, you have to follow specific rules. You can't do whatever you want. On the other side, you have consumer applications, and that's something that you can that are obviously permissionless, usually at least in a way that you are using. Maybe there could be some kind of whitelisting system in order to approve which protocol could be deployed, but I mean that's another level. If you go on plumenetwork.xyz, I will also leave the link of that into a description below. You can find under ecosystem the different applications that are already part of beta, the applications and technology. Because at the end of the story, as you can see, for example, by seeing layer 0, there is not just about it's not just about the protocols or using trading something. It's much more connecting the world with a much broader landscape. Let's not forget that there is a lot of stuff that's already happening on other chains, Solana, Base, Ethereum, and so on. Why to forget about them? We don't. We don't have to. So the whole point is to create an ecosystem that is interconnected to the other chains in order that if you have something that is about the real world that is managed best and is brought on chain using Plume Network, for example, you can also at the same time connecting it on other chains using, for example, an infrastructure like layer 0, but could be any other infrastructure. If you go on Explore Ecosystem, you will find all the information. One thing that I really love about a Plume Network, it has been the way I have been pushing the whole community. The whole airdrop narrative has been done pretty well, honestly speaking. Not so many projects has done a so good job, at least in my opinion, personally. And you can find all the metrics here. That's also one of the reasons why I'm pretty bullish on that, because I mean, they have a good tech, good funding, good community, great ecosystem. I mean, there are all the ingredients to perform pretty well. Down here, you can find all the information if you are curious about that. When it comes to RWA, there are already chains existing. For example, here there is Mantra that, as you can see, it's in the 49th position with a market cap that is about 3.5 billion. If you check the price action of Mantra, is simply, I mean, impressive. I'm really impressed by what they have been doing. On the other side, we have also Red Belly, we have a Polymesh, the token is Polix, and a bunch of other chains that are coming up. In this video, I don't want to dig too much into the single chain. I wanted to introduce to you Plume because, I mean, I do expect that with the launch of Plume Network plus the Trump inauguration and so on, some buzz around RWA will come up again. And if the buzz around the RWA space will come up, I mean, all the price of all the tokens will pump. Now that we talked about Plume Network, let me introduce other two projects that I like, honestly. One is Clearpool, that is about the first decentralized credit marketplace. As you can see, they have already originated something like 600 million of loans with a total value locked that is about 100 million. That, if you think about how small is right now the niche of RWA, it's not bad. It's just the beginning, because at the end of the story, all this kind of stuff are looking for the institutional market, so different kind of players from the usual retailers. Retailers market right now is the dominant force when it comes to on-chain stuff. The goal is shifting the focus from this to a space that has been built for institutions. So that's what I do see, and that's why I wanted to share with you this project. As you can see, it's backed by Sequoia, Ashkey Group, Wintermute, so all great VCs and players of the market. I will leave also the link of this project over here. This is a mid cap, because if we check, for example, the token is already outside, but if we try to check it out here, Cheapool, as you can see, has a market cap of about 300 million, so it's not so big, but it's decently big. Remember that when it comes to real world assets, most of the projects are having a chart with a big spike a long time ago, a downtrend that was, I mean, pretty depressing, and right now is slow recovery overall. The main reason is because when it comes to RWA projects, it takes a lot of time to build, not infrastructure. It's not just about the tech. The tech is relatively easy. What you have to struggle with is the regulation framework that could take a while to come out. And on the other side, closing partnerships with institutions, that's something that takes you a lot of time. If you ever try to deal with corporation or institutions, you know that to close a deal is not just like we talk, we have a chat on the bar, and we're good to go. It takes you a long, long time. On the other side, a lot of the supply has been already released, and that caused a selling pressure that pushed the price downwards. Going to the third project I want to introduce you today, it's called Swarm. This is a project I'm following since its inception in 2021. I talked to you about this project several times, and the main reason is because it's the first project has been able to bring on chain stocks, gold, and it has also an OTC market for institutions, and it's a DeFi permission. So permission DeFi. Basically, what it means is that it requires a KYC to be used. Right now, the TVL is still pretty small because we're talking about 8 millions, but I like the fact on how they have been growing organically, and literally they bring on chain products that weren't and are not yet available otherwise. And the beauty is that with the launch of networks like Plume and so on, finally products like Swarm and the products by Cheapool, Cpool, and so on will finally find a house, a place where they could be traded and they could be found in an environment that is dedicated to this kind of stuff. Because when it comes to Ethereum and so on, these are general chains that are just about whatever. When it comes to so complex products and so niche products that are from one side, yes, a little bit of consumer, but the main value would come when it comes to big partnerships with institutions. It's much better to have a dedicated space. So that's the reason why I decided to start today talking about from a Plume. I want to also share with you, I just Just to give you an idea, let me show you also the market cap of Swarm. As you can see, SMT, that's the ticker, right now has a market cap of just 16 million. So I just wanted to share it with you because I do think the project is great with a really tiny market cap at the moment. So it was just to give you a big project, a medium size, and a small one. If you want to go deeper into the metrics of RWA, I highly encourage you to use the rwa.xyz. That's a pretty interesting platform. You can find and discover different projects, and you can find the metrics. As you can see also from this chart, I mean, it has been only way up since 2021. But at the same time, the price of most of the tokens didn't follow this trajectory, and that's pretty bullish. I mean, it means that we have space to grow. The fundamentals are growing, the TVL is growing. Finally, we have an administration that is pro crypto. We have all the ingredients to make RWA great. Guys, let me know what you think about RWA, which is your favorite project when it comes to this niche. Let me know into the comments section below. Guys, thank you for following me, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.